to debunk some of the things you're told in all of those. For instance, one of the things I'm sure all of them have told you, that when you go for your reading comprehension portion of the exam, you're supposed to read the questions first and then go back and read the article. Am I right?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Okay. And I will explain to you why in, maybe not today, but I will explain to you why. In the meantime, as I looked over your assessment, I found that you need to work on a fairly narrow range of issues. One of them is your vocabulary. Not that you have a bad one. You've got a very good vocabulary. But you seem to be a little confused on how to use it. You don't quite seem to be able to put them together under a stress situation like a test. So we're going to be working on that. Although you're way ahead of the game as far as actually knowing what the words mean, you need to know how to use contextual clues as to when to use which word. Also, your reading comprehension, you let that fluster you too. Yeah. Yeah, I think you already know some of the stuff I'm talking about too. So when you were sitting down to the practice test, what scared you the most?
Pretty much all the reading comprehension.
Pretty much all the reading comprehension. Well, okay. I was looking over there and looking at your assessment tests, and I figured, you know something? Yeah, we're going to work on that, primarily because the reading comprehension takes up most of the SATs.
Yeah.
And you can be a brilliant math quiz, and people are going to look at that. And but you really need to deal with the reading comprehension. Now, frankly, Magna, you could go take the SAT in the morning, and you're not going to totally blow it. It's obvious you're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to do better than, I'd say 70, 80% of the kids out there who are about to sit for the SAT. But that's not what you want, is it?
No.
No. So what goal are you aiming for? What score are you aiming for?
My aim is a perfect score, but I don't know.
You could do it. You're within reach. Like I said, there's a very narrow range of things that you need to work on, but it's a narrow range, well within your reach of working on it. Okay, so here's why. I already said it's the longest part of the SAT, it's the biggest score, and it has the trickiest questions. Those people are really out to nail you. They really are. They say they're not, but they are. And their process of reasoning when they write these tests is, in all my years, I'm still sometimes sit back and think, huh? But you can deal with it. Okay, now here's the other thing, is your grammar review. You're actually fairly good. I didn't notice many grammar errors in your essays, but you did have some problems in the assessment on your grammar. And so you need some basic help with modifiers, the subject-verb agreement, transitional language, and modifiers. I noticed those are where you really need to work. And your punctuation. And finally, most importantly, and this is something I noticed with your assessment, you need a little help with your test-taking skills. I think you will do well, but you need to relax and understand what you're looking at. It's an entirely different task taking the SATs, taking the GRE, taking all of these tests that you're going to be taking over your next few years of high school and college. And test-taking skills are just a part of doing that. What is it that, do you know what you want to major in when you go to college?
I don't know what I want to major in specifically, but I want to go in the medical field.
You want to go in the medical field. Okay. So, assessment is going to be an incredibly important part of what you're going to learn. It doesn't matter whether you are a nurse, a doctor, or if you work in research. Assessment is a vital thing, and it's going to be a vital part of your career path. So for that alone, learning good test-taking skills is going to be important, because learning good test-taking skills means you'll also learn how to design them, design research studies, to design diagnostic studies. So don't think that it's going to be a waste of your time learning how to take tests, because it won't be. So let's, I think, are there any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Now, I haven't done anything with your math because, frankly, I'm dyscalculic. Now, there's a word for you. Do you have any idea what that means? Going into the medical field, this is a word you need to learn. Dyscalculic. Can you get on the internet and look it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be doing that to you quite often, by the way.
Okay. How do you spell it?
Dis, D-I-S, cal, C-A-L-Q-C-U-L-A-I-C.
Oh, wait, Q-C-U, and then what's next?
Dyscalculia is well, try D-Y-S, D-Y-S-C-A-L-C-U-L-I-A.
C-U-L-I-A.
Right. I don't think you've got this problem.
Okay, so your difficulty in making simple mathematical calculations.
Yep. There's a reason I'm an English major. In other words, I'm very good at what I do, but do not ask me to add 3 and 3 and get 6 3 times running, because it isn't going to work. Okay. So let's just take a minute, and I'm going to go over more specifically your essays today.
Okay.
All right. This is a rubric. The rubric that you see in front of you is one that essay graders for the SAT use. They will use rubrics exactly like this, and this is how they'll grade your score. And if you look and see, this is the essay that you have, Common Sense. Do you have a copy of those essays in front of you that you could use, you could read?
Yeah, I can open them.
Okay, go ahead and open them. I would prefer that you do that. I've got them up here on your PowerPoint as well, but I'd like you to see them as I'm talking.
Okay.
And here's what we're going to be working on with you. You're going to be graded on your point of view, your critical thinking, and your examples, your organization, your language and vocabulary, your sentence structure, and grammar and mechanical errors. And you can see that kind of line there where you were very good with grammar and mechanical. Your sentence structure is great.
Oh.
Good job on both of those.
Thanks.
Your language is appropriate and skilled. but not skillful, varied, and apt. We'll go off to that in a minute. Your organization is focused on this one. The one where you score less than optimal is point of view, critical thinking, and examples.
Okay.
You take a look at that. Now let's take a look at the essay itself. Now I would like you to read that essay now as if someone else had written it. I don't care whether it's more comfortable for you to read it aloud or to read it to yourself, but just read it and see if you can identify some things that you would change, just right off the bat.
Okay. Okay, well, I use the word common sense a lot.
That's perfectly okay. And you shouldn't use that word or that phrase more often than maybe once a paragraph, but it's okay to use it that often because what's the essay about?
Common sense.
Okay. So what else do you see?
Well, the second example isn't that detailed.
Which one? The one about Hitler?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
I didn't write as in depth about it. It doesn't have to do as much with the topic.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't really hear what you just